This is Femi Kuti, and you are listening to NYC Radio Live.
Hello, good people. How you doing? You're listening to NYC Radio Live. This is David Ellenbogen. So great to be with you. Let me paint the picture of where we were when we recorded this last week. I was in the East Indian Music Academy, and in front of me was T.H. Vikku Vanyakram, who is, if you think of South Indian rhythm, he's the guy. If you've heard that band Shakti, which I hope you all have, or, you know, if you listen to that and the set and the setting are correct, your mind will be blown. And that band kind of brought this, I don't know, he's called it the grandfather of fusion. Now, you know, can't have all your grandkids be great, but some of them are great. I'm talking about fusion music. I mean, not every fusion project is celebrated as being like, well, a lot of Indian people say most fusion is confusion. Anyway, there's also awesome meldings of music. So, T.H. Vikku Vanyakram, legend of percussion. Yeah, he's on a few albums that are just held in high esteem. Planet Drum with Mickey Hart, one of the great percussion albums of all time. Raga Aberi, another one of the great percussion albums of all time, with T.H. Vikku and none other than Zakir Hussain and L. Shankar. Anyway, I digress. So in front of me is T.H. Vikku Vanyakram. His son, Selva Ganesh, who's another of the big names in this music, and he's taken over the job of being the percussionist in John McLaughlin's Shakti group, and he taught a really incredible video on konnakol, which is the South Indian system. Then another son, Omar Shankar, another incredible Ghatam player, a cousin of these guys, Ganesan, playing morsing, which is like the South Indian take on the Jaw harp, and Swaminathan, Selva Ganesh's son, and Avirodh Sharma was on tabla, and this family of musicians just, we said, play something, and this is what they came up with, and then I'll have a little discussion with them. I really dork out. I ask really specific questions. If you don't play music, maybe you'll appreciate it. Or maybe you'll think I've gone too far. I was like, what time signature is this? Anyway, and then they play again live. So it's a really awesome show. And it's also a potential for a great opportunity because they're doing like a 5-day workshop starting next Monday at the East Indian Music Academy. I'm going to take it. I'm going to try. Amazing opportunity. So, maybe it's time. Oh, we're sponsored. We have a sponsor today. And the sponsor is the Rubin Museum. I'm so thankful to them. They're doing great stuff, and supporting us is one of them. And they have something called the Wisdom Series, which is underway right now. And so I like to share a piece of wisdom. This comes from Frank Zappa. Politics is the entertainment branch of the military-industrial complex. Wisdom from Frank Zappa. Yeah, keep thinking about that one. It's kind of like, it's home. All right, so here we are in the East Indian Music Academy, and all these percussionists are in front of me, and they played for all of you. All right, thank you so much for listening. Enjoy.
Okay. tabla.
You're listening to NYC Radio Live. Really, really a special one here. We're going to be broadcasting this on WKCR, and we are in the East Indian Music Academy, and completely thrilled and honored to be in the presence of maybe one of the first families of percussion in the whole world, the Vinayakrams. Thrilled. T.H. Vikku Vanyakram is here. One of the great masters. His son, Selva Ganesh, another master. Cousins, sons. Avirodh is here as well. Maybe first, would you like to, Selva Ganesh, you want to introduce all the people here?
Yeah,
just so we know.
and I would first, before that, like, and I'm so happy to be here again.
Yeah.
And with you again. Like, this is my second interview with you, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm so honored, as you said, in the world, and I'm so happy and proud to say that we are the family who, like, 3 generation on stage, which is my dad, so one and only Vikku Vanyakram on the Ghatam, and next to him is like my brother, Shankar, on the Ghatam too, and then my cousin, Ganesan, on the morsing, and of course my brother, Avirodh Sharma, he's on tabla. And my son, Swaminathan, on the khanjira, who plays my instrument. Mm-hmm. So, I'm Selva Ganesh. We are here.
All right.
Yep.
And I guess my first question is, since your family is the keeper of this music, maybe you're also the keeper of some of the stories and the legends. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious what your father knows about where you believe the Ghatam originated,
Yeah, so if, recently he figured it out, it was used in Ramayana column, in the period of Ramayana, where they have used Ghatam. And if you say the Ghatam, it's a Sanskrit word.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you, I don't know how many of you all know about when we do the prayer, and we have one, before starting prayer, we need to keep a Ghatam. For that to offering, we put a coconut on top and put some rice and then some kind of a vessel and then some leaves, and we call that as a Ghatam. So Ghatam originated from, that's what we were thinking about it. And of course, this is, and he always says, my dad always says that I'm vegetarian and my instrument is also vegetarian. Because this is the only one Indian instrument which is a vegetarian. Other than that, everything is made of skin.
Right.
Yeah, so he always feel great that I am vegetarian and my instrument is also vegetarian. So the Ghatam is originated from, I believe, that's from Ramayana, and then later on, it used in, of course, Mridangam is also there. Mm-hmm. These are the very ancient traditional percussion instrument, which is has a culture on the instrument their own. So that comes from that.
Right. And Carnatic music in general, it's has a very kind of religious background. Is that correct?
It is true.
Is that, I know of course it's in the lyrics. Is there concept in the rhythms that relates to the religious principles or to the philosophy?
Rhythm, I would say, as my perspective, or I've learned from my dad, the thing is, rhythm it's a common, right? So sound, even though sound has to go with some kind of rhythm. For example, you hear the sound, the tanpura goes on, but you feel it this doesn't have a rhythm. But they see if there is a cycle. So it has to come on one point which has a rhythm. If you feel it, yeah. So rhythm is like that, and rhythm is, I can call it rhythm as a divine, whatever. And we feel there are two in our community, in Hinduism, we say there is two way of seeing God. One is God is inside, or you see God outside, right? So we feel God is inside, right? And rhythm is also inside, because the heart has to go with the rhythm. See,
right?
That is also on the rhythm,
right on the beat.
So, yeah. So I feel rhythm is nothing but a God. So rhythm is God.
Yeah, all right. Well,
and spirituality, you're talking about spirituality. As earlier I said, the Carnatic music, South Indian Carnatic music is more divine because it's all lyrics based on the God and everything. And recently, past 5 years, my dad used to play a rhythm with the mathematics, like more of science, and math is more important for the South Indian rhythm base. So mathematical thing is more important. But what he started right now, even the piece we played it, the slokas, slokas are chanting about God. Usually they don't do with the rhythm, right? Right. For example, Om Namo Bhagavate Sri 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 Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Gurubhyo Namaha. This doesn't have a rhythm. So they chant like Om Namo Bhagavate Sri 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 Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Gurubhyo Namaha. They chant like that. So something got him to mind saying like, why don't I take that chanting rhythm, the slokas, and put it into a rhythm and then make it like a rhythmic chanting. And then that's the concept, and then we form this group 3G and like 3 generation, and then we do without if you say there is no melodic instrument in our group, it's all percussive, but we have some kind of a words onto a rhythm. So instead of Om Namo Bhagavate, we made it Om Namo Bhagavate Sri 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 Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Guru Bhyo Namagata Takita Guru Bhyo Namagata Takita Guru Bhyo Namagata. So it's like rhythmic chanting, and then in between we put some konnakol on it. So that's the idea which he got. And so again, rhythm is divine.
All right. And probably nowhere in the world is rhythm developed in the same way as it has been explored in South Indian rhythm. So maybe you and your father could give us a little introduction of what the konnakol system is.
Yeah, but before that, you were saying about changing. The time changes now, how everything is now. It's all in internet media, and everything is changing.
Sure.
And the lifestyle is changing, culture is changing, everything is changing. But one thing is that Indian music not have been changed. It's
right.
like still. Only thing is maybe we look different.
Right.
Maybe I look like a hip, and maybe he look like a whatever. But when we play, we still on our own culture and
right.
own tradition. But few things even in our playing it is changed, and we just follow the forefathers, legends, whatever they said, we just follow it. And let me ask my dad to say how the syllable has been pronounced for Ghatam first. And then I will say the similar thing which is used for konnakol, especially the konnakol, where konnakol born. It's like a language of a sound from mridangam. So that's the main language. So for example, like if I'm teaching mridangam, I need some kind of a language to tell him, instead of saying put like this, hold it like that. This is one stroke. Instead of that, if I have a name for that, tha, di, tom, nam. And where this comes from, if you play the mridangam and tha, it sounds like ta. And then di, it sounds like di. And then nam, dum, it's like that. So that's where the syllable born. So I'm going to ask my dad, konnakol பத்தியும் இல்ல கடத்தோட இத பத்தியும் கொஞ்சம் சொல்லுங்க. konnakol syllable என்ன, அதே syllable அது இப்போ வார்த்தை என்ன, அதே வார்த்தை கடத்துல என்ன வார்த்தை, ஒரு சின்னதா இப்போ நீங்க தமிழ்ல சொல்லலாம். konnakol வந்து இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள்
தக்க தக்க ஜிம்மி தக்க 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 ஜிம்மி தக்க தக்க தக்க.
So what he's going to do is 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 takita taka
takita taka jimmi taka takita
3 and 9 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 3 4 5 or 3 4
jimmi taka takita 7 5
3 4 and 5.
That is okay.
See, you can calculate it 7 5 3 9 or 3 4 5. See, that's the one good thing with the konnakol. So takita taka dimmi taka takita, that's the konnakol version of saying it. Okay. Yeah. And what is the syllable?
Donga na donga tati nanka na donga.
That is the Ghatam syllable.
Very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Innori solunga.
Donga na donga tati nanka na donga. Donga na donga tati nanka na donga. Donga na donga tati nanka na donga. Donga na taka dimmi
taka takita takita taka dimmi taka takita takita taka dimmi taka takita takita taka dimmi taka takita. So that's the konnakol version, and that's the Ghatam version. And when you hear it, you will feel that dongi no donga tati namka di tonga.
இதுல என்ன ஒரு சௌரியம்னா, நான் என்ன நினைக்கிறேனோ அது மாதிரி தான் இது இடத்துல இருக்கும். அதுதான் மடியில வச்சு வாசி. இப்ப தொங்கன தொங்க தட்டி நமக்கு நந்துங்கன்னு நினைச்சேன்னு வச்சுக்கோ, அது தக்கிட்ட தக்க தீமி தக்க தக்கிட்ட. எது நினைக்கிறோமோ அதுதான் இது.
ஆனா இல்ல அது தொங்கினு கேக்குறது நீங்க அது மாதிரி சொல்லுங்க தொங்கினு.
அப்ப
ஒரு வாட்டி சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு வாட்டி வாசிங்க.
அந்த வேர்டு சொல்ல முடியாது. அதனால
so what he's saying is like when I mean they when he's teaching a Ghatam, he's going to I mean he say that the syllable dongin non donka tati namtaka diton donga whatever, but when it goes on fast you cannot pronounce it, then it become a tongue twister. So so takita takita mitaka takita 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 mitaka takita we convert that into konnakol.
அத நினைச்சா அதே வரும்.
So you have to feel that takita takita mitaka takita 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 mitaka takita 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 mitaka takita 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 mitaka takita. So that's the different syllable, and for Ganjira it's a totally different syllable. So we don't use the like we basically the stroke, there are two sound in the Ganjira, which is one tap and one dom. So everything is like taka dom kita dom taka donga. So kita di kita dong takita taka dina taka takita kita di taka taka donga kita di taka taka donga kita di. So the language, again, it's the same value, it's the same amount of numbers, but the different language for different instruments. And especially the konnakol, it's totally different. Because the konnakol, they made it easier for like whichever can we do it faster. For example, it's like kata 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 whatever taka 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 dongo taka dongo taka 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 dongo taka dongo taka dongo taka 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 dongo taka. It sound it even it doesn't sound like a konnakol. So so that's where. So even after that, like konnakol also became one of a vocal percussion, which is also used like a percussion instrument. Because in the beginning they started to develop that language to teach, and then the sound comes in, and then they try to explain it, and then they thought like, why don't we use this one also as a one percussion instrument. So when you see South Indian talva de kacheri, which is talva de kacheri is nothing but a concert. Tal means talam, vadya means instrument, kacheri means concert. So tal vadya kacheri means concert. So when you see tal vadya kacheri in South India, there'll be a mridangam, ganjira, ghatam, morsing, konnakol, and then there is an instrument called gettu. Gettu is like looks like a veena played by stick. It's also a traditional ancient South Indian percussion instrument, which is like hardly we have two players who plays that instrument in India, and it's not used like popularly, and it's not a popular instrument, but that is also a South Indian percussion traditional instrument.
And your father was on a lot of the big albums that reached Western people, many of them. Of course, Shakti, Planet Drum, the Raga Aberi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, Raga Aberi, that was... What was the tal of Raga Aberi? They said
Aberi enna talamba? 7.5 Aberi.
Aberi வந்து
9.5.
9.5. Yeah. So maybe you could explain how he thinks about.
Yeah.
How does he think about 9.5?
Yeah, but before that, before they started doing an album like that, Shankar and with my dad and Zakir Bhai, there was no tala cycle like that in our tradition. There is no 5.5, there is no 7.5, 9.5. We call it, there is a 4.5, which is a 9 beat. Right. So we actually put like 4.5, but we don't call that as a 4.5. One is like 1, 2. So we start with takita, taka, dimi, taka, takita, taka, dimi, taka. But that's a 9 beat. but it's not a 9 beat, it's a 4.5, but we call it Sangirna Chapu. So Kanda Chapu is 2.5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. But if you see it, these talas, it's not actually traditional talas. There is no tala like this in 7 to count. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have to count like that. What happens is there is like how you have seen Carnatic music, but there is one more which is a traditional. It's more about God. They call it Tiruppugal, which is like a bhajan, right? In that they have a fast song where they do
like that.
So it's very hard to count like this. So they made it like next version of that is tak it tak ding tak it tak ding tak. So they started clapping only the hits, and then like to show which is one for the mridangam player, they started doing the flip. So tak it tak ding tak it tak ding tak.
Bhajana sambala எல்லாம் அப்படிதான்.
Tak it tak. So that was taken.
The flip is of the hand.
Yeah. So
for the radio listeners.
yeah. Taki. It's a wave, like like.
Which should be Kali.
Kali. Yeah. So taki ta taka. So that's how we born it. So when they do that, so Shankar Ji was saying, why don't we do 9.5, 8.5, 7.5, which is 7.5 is nothing but 15.
Sure.
So 9.5 is 19, like something like that. So why don't we build up like that? So that's how the 7.5, 9.5 came in, and then if you see it, even that become a traditional now.
Wow.
So even like in a lot of fusion concerts, if you see it, they all do 7.5, 9.5, everything. So he always says like music is given by God, but the tradition is given by human, which is formed by human. So he always says like whether I have to follow the tradition or the music, I would go for music because which is given by God.
Right.
So that's one thing. So now I'm going to ask him, how did he, when he heard 7, 9.5, how he started, like, because, what I heard was, when they went for the recording, they didn't practice. And then they didn't decide what they're going to do it. So they three got into the studio, and they said, okay, today I'll play Raga Aberi, maybe 9.5. So they just played. They just played the solo, they played the album, they did all the albums like that. Nothing prepared. It's like a pure Indian way of approach. I mean, the way we do it. So I'm going to ask him what he felt when, when he started playing Nana. Because every rhythm player, when we start playing, first we have to get the rhythm in, and then we'll develop. And then, I know there is a solo it's going to happen for me. So I have to be prepared for that. So each and every South Indian percussion has that feeling when inside, okay, it's 9.5. Then I calculate immediately when I'm playing it. I know I'll get one formula. That's it. Then I can just do 45 minutes solo in that. So I'm going to ask him what he felt when he heard first 9.5. I don't know, Shankar wrote 9.5 Abiri Vachilum. Shankar wrote 9.5. First, உங்களுக்கு அந்த 9.5 சொன்னோன்னா என்ன ஃபீல் இருந்தது? இப்போ என்ன வேணா அதெல்லாம் தனியாக ஒருத்தனை வாசிக்க போகிறோம், எப்படி இதை வாசிக்க போகிறேன், நான் எப்படி பேஸ் பண்ணிக்கணும், ஃபர்ஸ்ட் உங்கள் மென்டாலிட்டி எப்படி இருந்தது 9.5?
அந்த இதில் பொறுத்து எனக்கு புதுசு இந்த 9.5 இதெல்லாம் நான் கேள்விப்பட்டதே இல்லை. அவன் ராகம் வாய்ச்சி அந்த சாங்கை வாய்ச்ச உடனே தான் 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. அப்போ ஜாகிர்ஜி பிளே ஃபஸ்ட்டு ஸ்டார்டட். அது வந்து 8 + 1.5 9. அப்போ I get the idea what to say. So when the swaram is coming, immediately I was whatever first short solo, because no first short solo, அப்புறம் மோரா கோடுவேன், அப்படி வச்சு டெவலப் பண்ணி போகிற பிளானட் ட்ரம் வச்சு தான் எனக்கு இந்த மாதிரிலாம்
இல்லை. ஃபஸ்ட்டு இது and you know what he was saying is like when he entered the studio, when Shankar Ji was saying 9.5, that was the first time he was hearing 9.5 in his history, and he says, what is 9.5? And then he started putting like that. I said, okay. So first thing was Zakir Bhai started playing. So he was just playing, and then he was listening. Before, they were doing sound check. I mean, they need to get the thing done. No? So when they were doing that rehearsal, Zakir Bhai started playing with Shankar Ji. He was listening, and he said, whoa, 9.5 is nothing but one cycle of Aditala, which is 8 beat, and then one takita takita. So he said, oh, okay, that was his mindset. And then he says, whatever I play in 8 beat cycle, I need to add takita. So I play whatever, like for example, takadi pitaka junu takadi pitaka junu tak pitaka junu takadi pitaka junu takita takita takadi. So whatever I wanted to fill it up on 8, I'll use only takita takita. So if you see that album, if you hear his solo, he was playing all the stuff, one takita takita is extra. So he's saying like it like he always make it like that. He wanted to make his life simple. He doesn't complicate his life. Even in playing, even in his life, like everything very simple. Like, even for example, day after tomorrow we are flying to Austin. So I said like, I have the ticket. It's in my phone. No. Give me the paper. I want the ticket in my paper. Print it out and give it to me. As simple. Because phone, I have to go in, I have to put it in that app, I have to bring it in, blah, blah, blah. If they ask me a ticket, I will show the paper. So simple. So you wanted to make everything like that simple. Very simple, visible. And he says like everything is like this. So even his music is also like that. He will make it very simple. And he always says like, okay, if you, for example, like, I always saying like, I have practiced this in one very tough, complicated stuff. I want to play that somewhere. Like, that's my mind setup. And he always says that you play at home for yourself. But when you're playing for audience, just play for them. That is the simple logic which he follows. So if you see, again, why I'm saying that works on his solo in 9.5. He doesn't make complicated stuff. He said simple 8 plus 1 takita, which is 1.5.
1 takita is heart touch பண்ணிடுது. அது வாய்ச்சின்னு வரத்த ஓ ஆட்டம் ஓ இப்படி வந்து பீட் அந்த அது மைண்டுக்குள்ள ஆஹா இப்படி ஒன்று இருக்கு அப்போ இதையே கொடுக்கலாம் ஒரு ஃபீலிங்.
So you were saying it, if you split like that, easily it will go and touch your heart. For example, the same 9.5, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, takita 1. I can even play takadipi takajundu takadipi takajundu takita 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 takadipi takatakita takadipi takita takata takadipi takatakita takita takita takatakadipi. I can make it any complicated stuff like that, which is maybe my knowledge or maybe the mathematical thing which we know it. But he says that doesn't go and touch your heart. Right. So he wanted to make it takati. So you do whatever you want to do.
And the takita.
So that's what he felt in 9.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder about his first impressions when he first met John McLaughlin, what he thought.
Well, that's a big story. But I can ask him. First, John G. Patona, in the impression.
First, he came Chennai. அவர் வந்து என்னை வாசிப்பை கேட்டார். என்ன தான் வந்து கூப்பிட்டு அப்போ பார்த்தோன்னா என்ன வாசிக்க போகிறோம் என்னங்கிறது. பட் அவர் வந்து எனக்கு எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணார். நீ வந்து ஹார்ட் ஒர்க் பண்ணணும், பீசஸ் எல்லாம் இந்தியாவில் வந்து நீ கச்சேரிக்கு ஃபாலோ தான் பண்ணியிருக்க. இப்போ மெயினாக நீ வர அப்போ இந்த பீசஸ்லாம் நெட்ரு பண்ணி பயோகாட் பண்ணிட்டு அனுபவித்து வாசிக்கணும். அதனால் எனக்கு ஃபஸ்ட்டு போனோடனே என்ன பண்ணுறது, என்ன பீஸு என்னங்கிறது எனக்கு தெரியாது. அப்புறம் ஜாகீர் வந்தப்புறம் தான் எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக சங்கர் எனக்கு இந்த பீஸு இப்படி ஜாய் இது வருது, இந்த எல்லாம் ஆதிதாரம் வரும், இதெல்லாம் தான் வரும், இது பண்ணிக்குவோம். ஜாகீர் வந்து அந்த பீஸஸ் முன்னாடி நெட்டு பண்ணேன். ஒவ்வொரு பீஸையும் வாய்ச்சோன்னா சில தெரியாததான் ஜாகீர் எனக்கு டீச் பண்ணார். நானும் பண்ணி டெய்லி 24 hours ரிஹர்சல். ஒன்று ஹால் மார்னிங் 12 மணிக்கு போய் உட்காந்தாச்சுன்னா வாசிப்போம். கூல் ட்ரிங்க் எல்லாம் சாப்பிடுவோம், திருப்பி படுத்துன்னு தூங்குவோம். வேக்கப் 12 o'clock வேக்கப், திருப்பி அகைன் நைட்டு ஃபுல் நைட்.
எத்தனை நாள் பண்ணுது?
1 month ரிஹர்சல்.
1 year
1 month ரிஹர்சல்.
அதுக்கப்புறம் கம்போசிங்.
பாட்டம் லைனில் தான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு கச்சேரிங்க.
So what he was saying is when he met first John, but that's a huge story, like where it's like he came into Chennai and they started the Shakti with Mridangam. Ramnath Raghavan who played a Mridangam and Zakir Bhai, Shankar and John G. So after that, I don't know, somehow they felt the mridangam and tabla sounds similar, so they wanted a different instrument or something like that. So El Shankar, he used to play with El Shankar, El Subramaniam and El Vaidyanathan trio. So that's how El Shankar and my dad was very close. So then El Shankar introduced my dad to John G. And then, like, you know, he doesn't want to go out of, because he was working in All India Radio as a government staff.
Good job.
Yeah, good job. And he doesn't want to leave that because that's a permanent job. And after he retires, he gets the money and everything. So he doesn't
And he
want
likes
to leave.
things simple.
Yeah. So, but his father, which is like, you know, my grandfather, who foreseed, like he says, no. If you sit here, maybe you'll be famous, but not your instrument. If you want your instrument to be famous, go with him and play. You have to go out of this. So I don't know, like he can foresee, like he can foresee a lot of stuff. So my dad, he always listened to his father because that's his guru. So he went in. So he was saying when he met first time, like, you know, and when they were sitting up, he says it's very tough because like to by heart the song. It's not like a Carnatic music. You don't have to really by heart. If you hear it, you know it. And we are playing that for like, you know, for a while. So we got used to it. So he was saying, so El Shankar helped him to like, you know, make it simple. So he said, these are the things. And then Zakir Bhai was the really like, you know, more supportive for him. So which like he made it everything simple. Oh, this is it. Then they practiced for a month, like almost like they stayed in one place. They're like, you know, they just practice like this, eat and sleep there, and then again wake up, practice like that. So a month. Wow. And then they started doing. What was the first concert?
First concert, Bottom Line,
Bottom
New York.
Line.
Oh, right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I surprised. I was first, முதல்ல அந்த ஆடியன்ஸை பார்க்குறேன். ஏன்னா அவனும் விக்கு, அப்போ தான் எனக்கு விக்கு விநாயகராம், John McLaughlin is guitar, El Shankar, Vikku Vanyakram is Ghatam. Vikku more claps. அந்த ஆடியன்ஸ் பார்த்தோன்னே எனக்கு உடம்பு சிலிர்த்து படுத்தி இப்போ எல்லாம் ஃபுல்லு க்ரௌடு கிளப்பு ஃபுல்லாக என்ன கிளப்பில் போய் கட்சிருக்கேன் நான் கூட நினச்சிருந்தேன். சரி வாட்ச் அந்த அடித்த ஜாய் பீஸ் வாய்ஸ் முடிச்சோன்னு கிளாப்ஸ். எனக்கு அப்புறம் தான் ஒரு ஹாப்பி. அன்றைக்கி அன்றைக்கி தான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு நான் வாய்ச்சி அந்த ஃபாஸ்ட்டு அதுதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் எனக்கு அந்த மாதிரி.
So you were saying he's not used to those kind of audience, right? Before that, until they go for the Carnatic concert, it's a totally different audience. They just sit and come and then they kept only. So this was a totally different audience, and that was the first time to enter in the club to play.
Right.
Okay. So you were saying, are we going to play here? So that the first impression, and then when they announced the names, the people really reacted in a different manner, and he was surprised, and that made him little happy. I said, wow, this is something different than what I usually get it. So then they did the concert. So when they played the first piece, Joy, so after that people went crazy, of course, like that's the best like, you know, to start. So people went crazy, and then he got that taste. He said like that, this is something really which I want to do it.
Wow.
So that's how he got into it.
Wow. All right, maybe just one last question. I feel that you know, he's experienced many different types of musicians, especially like when with Planet Drum get to be around all these other, you know, Airto Mariera and Flora Purim and all these great musicians. So I wondered if there was times that he heard things in rhythm that were so far outside of the Carnatic system, and how that impacted him.
நீங்க இப்போ பிளானட் ட்ரம் போனேன், அது ஒரு விஷயம். அதுக்கு முன்னாடி நீங்க இப்போ உங்களுக்கு வந்து மிருதங்கம், கடம், கெஞ்சிரா ரொம்ப முடிஞ்சு போச்சுன்னா தப்லா அது வரைக்கும் கேட்டிருக்கு. இந்தியாவை விட்டு வெளி இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட் கேட்கும்போது அது உங்களுக்கு எப்படி ஃபீல் இருந்தது? இப்போ இவர் நீங்க பிளானட் ட்ரம்ல வாசிக்கும் போது
அந்த இவர் ஜாவா ஊட்டுன்னு சொல்லி தட் இஸ் அவளோட அந்த காங்கோ ட்ரம்ஸ் இது. அதுக்கப்புறம் பெரிய ட்ரம்மர் எங்கிட்ட கற்றுனாங்க, பெரிய ட்ரம்மர் இல்லை இன்னும் பெலிகாப்பம்
learned little core way from him.
First time I tour in the tour Planet Drum tour படித்தேன். பெலிகாப்பம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சோலோ பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் after our Shakti program. I am playing 2 finger. That is, I told he is immediately practiced, both are we are playing. அது
So that's the first impression. When you the question which you asked him, it's out of tradition. Like, you haven't heard drums before, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So when he started playing with Billy, so he was explaining before that, like, it's a quintuplet. Taka taki, the 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 2. So I don't know those period, like, they don't know what is maybe they don't even have the name of quintuplet, or maybe they have it. But after that they don't go. Like, every beat has 7 counts. Every beat has 9 counts, 5 counts. So they don't have the concept of that. So when he showed this to Billy, immediately he got it, and they both played that on stage. So that was the first impression. He heard a different instrument of our structures, thing played in a different instrument, and it sounded great to him. So that was his first experience with Billy Cobham. And then planet drum
பாபா ஊட்டுஞ்சலி விஆர்ஆர் சிக்குரு எல்லாம் ஒரு எப்படி ரெக்கார்டிங் எடுக்க போகிறா என்னங்கிறத வி டோன்ட் நோ. ஃபஸ்ட்டு ஜாகிர்ஜி ஹெல்ப் மீ டோல் வாட் எவர் யூ ஆர் பிளே ஃபஸ்ட்டு 1 beat we take 7 beat 8 beat 9 beat whatever you improve, VRR followed that. Then VRR playing, you are improvisation as soon. Now tak 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 give me 1 2 3 1 2 3. Then another person is join everybody every tat 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 at the bass beat. Now or after I finishing, Zagirji starting like that.
It's an improvisation. So they all talked it, like, it made it easy for him. So as I said again, like, he says, okay, let's do 7. Okay, so taki, they asked him, okay, how do you want to produce the 7? Because there are a lot of ways to produce 7, right? So he says taki, taka, dini, which is 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. So when he started and everybody started playing with him, and then they got the groove, then everybody started improvising it. So again is for him, it's the first time he is hearing a different instrument like a congo or
I heard all kind of rhythm here.
Drum.
I heard more input.
Yeah. So different talking drum. So that's where he grabbed a few things. Whoa, it can be also like this. It can be also like that. But one thing is, like, he never ever in his life, like, go out of his thing. We are like, we take everything and then put it in our instrument and do this, do that. We are like a noodles. But for him, it's like a rice. It's like a all plain. Like, you do whatever you want to do it. I want to do this. It's not like, if you ask him, is that because of tradition? He says, no, because I like it. Simple.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thanks so much for your time. I don't know if we have all the mics. I don't know if you want to play anything.
Yeah, we're going to play. Before that, like, I'm so happy to, I have to thank Avirodh again. Like, because this is a second time we are coming into this beautiful school.
Yeah.
And very, like, the emotionally, I would say this is the good place to play. If you see this time, of course we have a microphone, but which goes straight into your recording, but we don't hear the thing. But when we play, we don't
very
feel that
easy.
we don't have a microphone or we don't have a sound. We sounds great. So so this is a good place for that. And then I really thank Avirodh, and then on this occasion I would like to say that we are going to do this master class and giving a workshop and concert. That's going to be on 24th to 28th.
That's going to be great. And that's open to all musicians.
All musicians. And you don't have to worry about, like, it has to be a classical musician or it has to be a South Indian classical musician. No, it's open to all. And the concept of Indian rhythm, that's what we're going to teach. Even when we are going to start the school, even in that we are going to teach that. Like, concept. You learn this concept and you apply it on your music, onto your instrument. And one more thing, this workshop or the masterclass which we're going to do it's not only for the percussionist, it's also for the melodic players. Even it can be a singer, pianist, guitarist, bass player, anyone. So you understand the culture, or you understand the concept of Indian rhythm, and you just apply it on it. So for that, it's going to happen.
Just to add to that, Selva ji mentioned earlier the Tal Vade Kacheri. We're actually going to perform on October 28th in that format. So that should be something really special. And I just wanted to say, just on behalf of my parents,
please,
Ravideen and Bharati Ramsamuja and the East Indian Music Academy, we're so honored that you're going to grace the academy in a 5-day workshop. Vikkuji, Selvaji, family, I mean, I really feel honored. It's on another note, I feel like a little kid, you know. I was like 12, 13 years old. I saw Vikkuji in concert at Carnegie Hall, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I was always a big fan of his work and also Selvaji's work. And here I am today, you know, we're just doing a recording together. So I just want to say thank you for embracing this opportunity to come to the Academy.
But before that, I wanted to hear one thing. What, like, you know, maybe it's a funny. What Avirodh, like, you know, just tell them when you got a mail from my office last time, because like before, you see, it's all happening now. It's like now we've become family.
Right.
So what was that feeling?
Yeah. So
you hear this one. It's very, like, you know, it's interesting.
I mean, we get tons of emails in the school all the time. So I'm going through my email list and I see something from Selva Ganesh, you know, email. I say, Selva Ganesh, scratching my head with Selva. I say, is it the same Selva Ganesh? You know, percussionist khanjira player? I says, it can't be. Why are they sending us an email? Who are we? We're just a small organization. We're doing small work here. So I said, let me contact his office, you know, send me some email information. So they gave me his number. And we started to talk.
He even called me and said, are you Selva Ganesh?
Yeah, is this really Selvaji on the phone? And I'm like, I would think you have to go through managers, X, Y, and Z, all these. These are famous musicians, you know. So then we spoke, and then we said, you know, it'll be nice if you can come to the Academy and do a workshop. And then I said, you know, before I confirm, I need to talk to my parents because we're a family-based organization. And so after that conversation, every day since then, it's like we've become family now, and we're brothers. And you can hear it in our playing. Like today, we had no rehearsal. What we executed just now was all on the fly. And
that's one good thing about the Indian music.
Yeah.
And second thing is, when I entered here, and when he picked me up from the airport, he was talking about Shakti, he was talking about my dad. He said, like, I'm a big fan, blah, blah, whatever. Like, you know, we were talking. I came in here, I did a workshop on the first day. Second day, I didn't notice my dad's photo is there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dad's photo.
So this was here for a long time.
Right.
I didn't know.
Over 10 years.
Yeah, over 10 years it was lying there.
Yeah.
So the day one I didn't see. The second day when I went to eat something down, I came back and then I was walking on that line and I said, wow, my dad's photo.
Yeah.
So
and my mom was there.
Yeah, she was so emotionally attached because she didn't even know that I am her son.
Yeah.
So
and
everything
tears,
was like this. And
tears
then now,
came to her eyes when
now
she
he's sitting
realized
here.
it. Yeah.
So that's the reason I wanted to just to convey. Yeah. Like, you know, this is one good thing with the music and musicians and people, like, you know, it goes like that. Right. So cool.
Thank you again, everyone.
Thank you,
David.
all.
Thank you for your time and opportunity for organizing this and for us to be here.
Let's make some music.
Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam, Ganapati, Shankar, Takadinatam, Takadinatam, Takadina, Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam, Ganapati, Shankar, Takadinatam, Takadinatam, Takadina, Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam, Ganapati, Shankar, Guru Devam Gana